Alright, it's Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us here for another update to the Hokey video blog. We are talking a hot, unofficial end to summer on this Labor Day weekend. We're still multiple weeks away from fall, but man, I mean, it's going to be feeling like fall once we get all this heat out of here. We've got a stretch of a couple days at least in the 70s coming your way. You'll see that coming up in just a second. But hey, let's talk about today's Hokey weather fact first, and we're talking about fall. While Americans generally say the word fall, the British actually use autumn, and you're probably like, well, they're interchangeable, right? They are, but this is just generally what either population uses. If you go on Twitter, if you go on Instagram and search for those hashtags, you'll find that most American tweets or Instagram photos use hashtag fall, and most British ones use hashtag autumn. And if you happen to know a British person like I do, you'll hear autumn a whole lot more. So, kind of a neat fact you can share with your friends this morning. Alright, last night had some thunderstorms, especially over southern Indiana. They leaked into Oldham County, into Franklin County as well, where we had some power outages. Michelle Lyons, near Seymour, had a tree snap in their backyard up there in Jackson County. So these storms had a little bit of a punch. They were just very brief wind gusts. They didn't last long, and the storms themselves kind of gusted themselves out pretty quickly. So we're going to see additional isolated storms this afternoon into early this evening, but they're not going to be like yesterday, because the disturbance that caused them yesterday is well to our west. It was a little more vigorous than some of the models picked up on, especially with the clustering of the thunderstorms. So we'll just be watching that, certainly, as we go throughout the rest of the day. It should not be nearly as bad, though. Hey, nice picture sent into our Wave 3 Weather Facebook page from David Boggs. I'm assuming this is from an aerial drone or a quadcopter. Beautiful shot of that third quarter moon over Metro Louisville. I love shots of our city skyline that are all lit up like this. This is probably my favorite type of photography here in town. Thanks to him for sending that in. And we've got to put the disclaimer out here. If you send in an aerial drone or a quadcopter photo or video to us, we gladly accept them, and we'll put them on our weather graphics with credit to you, but just make sure that you keep them below 400 feet. That's the FAA ceiling for aerial drones. It's just the law, folks. Hey, Kentucky One Health SkyTrack network of cameras from Starlight, Indiana, showing us the clear skies. Had a couple clouds earlier this morning, but we've cleared everything out. In fact, the Doppler radar view is pretty clear, too. What you see on it now, just ground clutter. Sometimes the ground clutter this time of year with all the moisture can get a little thick on the radar, but nothing's falling from the sky, folks. It's completely clear. You'll see that on the satellite view. That just proves that right there. It's just cloudy out to our west near St. Louis, but here, I mean, my goodness, we're nice and clear. And that's going to be the story for today. The aforementioned disturbance that moved west of here that generated some of those thunderstorms last night is now over St. Louis, and that's why they're seeing some additional cloud cover. We're enjoying high pressure. It has moved west just a little bit, just kind of junted west a little bit there, and that's going to help us stay a little bit drier today. But you folks in southern Kentucky are still on the periphery of it, so that's why your chance of thunderstorms this afternoon is going to be the highest of the area. But hey, guess what? It's still a 10% chance. It's still very small. Don't let it ruin your fun. Just have fun with it. If it rains, go indoors for 10 minutes, come back out, you're fine. This little disturbance, though, moving up from portions of Tennessee, that's what's going to help to trigger a couple of these thunderstorms and maybe just some downpours, really, over portions of southern Kentucky today. Probably closer to the Tennessee border, but we've got counties, of course, like Adair County that go almost all the way there. So that's why we're keeping that chance in there as we head throughout the afternoon. Mostly dry in Louisville, though. Can't rule out just a downpour here, but I think it's an even smaller chance in those folks down to our south. Here's what it looks like on Futurecast. It's lined up pretty well with the high-resolution rapid refresh, which is a pretty good thing. Whenever we see those two models lining up, that means the forecast is in pretty good shape. 90 degrees by 2 o'clock here on Futurecast, but I think it's running about 3 to 5 degrees too low. It'll be around 95 by this afternoon. There are those aforementioned pop-up isolated downpours. You see one there around the Western Kentucky and Bluegrass Parkways corridor. It's mainly going to be south of that area where we see them this afternoon. Then by this evening, as the sun sets just after 8 o'clock, we're fine. All these showers and downpours down there will dissipate, and we'll be getting back down to the 70s and, in some cases, the 60s. Hey, something happened last night on my iPhone that I wanted to share with you. I've got the Wave 3 News weather app all set up on there. All you have to do is download it. It's free. We've added a new feature that's the lightning alerts. These lightning alerts are preset for your location, so wherever you move within about 180 miles of Louisville here, you'll be able to get alerted when lightning is somewhere between 3 and 5 miles away from your location. I heard this alert before I heard the thunder outside, and this thunderstorm was about 3 miles away from me. And the alerts are cool because not only do they tell you by voice that there's lightning near your location, but it's a voice you're probably going to recognize. Kevin Harnett actually sat in a recording booth and recorded these alerts for you, so you can always figure out what's going on. It's a voice alert. You don't have to guess. You know exactly what's happening, and he'll tell you right there in your pocket. I was actually playing music over my iPod stereo with my phone and heard it blast throughout my house, the alert. It was pretty cool. Looked out my window, looked at the radar, and sure enough, a storm had popped up over portions of central and southwest Louisville. So, get that today. It's an updated version of the app. If you don't have automatic updates turned on your device, make sure you go to your app store and click that update. It's completely free, folks. I mean, it's the best deal in the app store, pretty much. And it keeps you safe, and it lets you know when to go indoors for boating, swimming, golfing, you name it. It's awesome. It's all free. All right, Tropical Storm Grace. That's the latest named tropical storm. It was named late yesterday. 45-mile-per-hour winds on that. It is still way out there, just west of the Cape Verde Islands right now. The track does take it toward the Lesser Antilles. The models taking it through there, some of them. But I have to caution, when you got a storm this far out, usually when they get fairly strong, they like to curve north. So with a storm already as strong as it is that far east, these tracks may be a little too far south, a little too far west. It may try to recurve before it even hits the Lesser Antilles. But hey, if you've got interests in the Lesser or the Greater Antilles, up toward Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Cuba, just keep track of the forecast over the next couple of weeks as this thing continues to spin along. Speaking of a forecast, here's one over the next 7 days for you. It's a 7-day breakdown. Let's take you through this Labor Day weekend. Sunday, we've got the lake forecast for you. A lot of folks heading out to Patoka Lake, Taylorsville Lake, Green River Lake, wherever you're headed. It's going to be hot. 90s. Take the sunscreen. Practice safe boating while you're at it. World Fest is also going on for the next couple of days. I know I'm going to be visiting there tomorrow. It's my favorite festival the entire year here in Louisville. So much food and culture, things you can buy, places that you can go by and figure out what kind of, association they are, foreign language associations, the cultural dance and music. Oh my gosh, it's fun. Did we mention the food? The food is very good. I'm going to get me a gyro there tomorrow. 11 o'clock in the morning. This morning, though, 80 degrees. It's going to be hot both today and tomorrow. Like I said yesterday, if you're trying to figure out what the best day is to go, really, the next 2 days are they're fine weather-wise when it comes to the thunderstorm chance because it's so small. But the heat-wise, it's going to be the same either way. So just get out there and enjoy it regardless of which day. We've also got the Bats game tonight. There's also one tomorrow night. Same story here. If you're trying to decide which Bats game to go to, I mean, just really pick the one that's best for your schedule because the weather's going to be about the same either way. First pitch at 6:05, 94. We're only down to 90 by the 7th inning. Yuck. All right. Labor Day, hike, bike, and paddle. That's going on, sponsored by Metro Louisville. In the morning, 72 degrees starting out, and we get up to 87 by noontime. Some of those hikers, bikers, and paddlers will be sweating it out as we go throughout tomorrow afternoon. You might be grilling out, too. That's probably something that's going to be on my agenda. I'm really excited about Labor Day, if you can't tell. 94 by 5 o'clock, and we'll only be down at 85 by 9, so woo-wee. Yeah, it's going to be a hot one out there if you're trying to grill out. Hey, maybe you're trying to go to the Grayson County Labor Day Parade. It starts at 9:30 in the morning. We'll be in the 70s by that time, but by the time we're wrapping up things there in Litchfield, should be up to about 80 or so. So not quite as bad outside the city because we'll be able to shave off at least a couple degrees off of those expected temperatures thanks to the urban heat island here in Louisville. It makes things a little warmer. All right, so the aforementioned break in the heat, the fall preview comes with a slow-moving cold front that'll provide multiple chances of scattered thunderstorms both Wednesday and Thursday. We're not looking for severe weather at this point. It's just not the time of the year for it. We don't have enough dynamics in the atmosphere. We'll keep track of that, though, because some of these could get just isolated severe for just a moment or two. Otherwise, the big cool down behind that takes us into the 70s on Saturday at 78. By Sunday of the next week on the earliest alert outlook, we're still in the 70s. And in fact, it's all going to be caused by this nice trough moving in that's driving that cold front through. Look at that big batch of cooler air. This might not be the only one we see through mid-September. There may be one just beyond the 14-day earliest alert outlook that may drive us even cooler than that. Hang on, folks. Fall is on the way if you are just definitely not liking these summer temperatures, because I know a lot of us have to work outside, and it's just no fun. So it's on the way. Just hang on tight, folks. All right, I'll be back in tonight on Wave 3 News at 6 and 11. We'll get you through the rest of your Labor Day weekend and tell you about the rest of the week ahead with an updated forecast based on the latest data. I'm Meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Enjoy your Sunday.